For the final exam review quiz, part 1, we are given two functions and we're asked to find the domain. That means what is the values of x. Here's our x-axis. We don't need the y-axis, that's all we're looking at. It goes to positive infinity from negative infinity, and we're looking for the interval or union of intervals. And in this class, there are only three things we have to worry about with the domain. So what we're trying to do is basically take out the x values that are not in the domain. Even though we're asking what is in the domain, well, we have to decide what's not in the domain. What's not in the domain? Well, anything that would cause division by 0. That's a problem. We've got to take an x that would not let that. And that's what we have here. The other two problems we have is if there were square roots, we can't have negatives inside of a square root. And if we have a logarithm, any kind, natural log or log base, whatever, you can't have 0 and you can't have negative numbers. So those are, if there's a domain question, these are the three things we're looking to. If we don't have any of these, then it's negative infinity to infinity. And again, just in this course, you might run into later mathematics where there's something else, but that's primarily it with algebra. These are the three problems we face. So we see in our function f that there could potentially be a division by 0 if a particular value of x would cause 0 here. And so what we do for f of x, now we don't look at the whole function because it doesn't matter whatever happens. We can have a 0 in the numerator. That's fine. We could have any number in the numerator, x minus 9. So x can be anything in the top. It's the bottom. It's the denominator that's going to cause us trouble. So we just kind of take the denominator over here. Let's say, when is x squared plus 18x plus 81, when is that going to be equal to 0? I'll show you maybe with the graphing calculator. We can do this, and we can also do it with factoring. Let's go with the graphing calculator method first. X squared plus 18x plus 81. So I'm going to graph it. Graph button. Wherever it crosses the x-axis, that's what needs to be taken out, right? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 9 is going to need to be removed because that's where we get 0. And you can go to second calc. These are called zeros. That's where it crosses the x-axis. That's for a left bound. I'm at x equals 0, y is equal to 81, so I'm way up there. I'm going to go to the left. Just keep clicking, and you'll see in just a moment. Yeah, there's the spider coming down. I want to go to the left of this intersection. Sometimes when it's just crossing the x-axis or kissing the x-axis, as I say, in one spot, that could be a little difficulty. We need to do a right bound. Move the spider to the right of the intersection of the x-intercept, and then I hit enter for my guess, and it finds it. Certainly there is a 0. Y is 0 when x is negative 9. So we need to take out x equals negative 9. So I put up here negative 9, and notice graphically we can see that's the only place. We need to take this out, and so we can have everything else except negative 9. So we've got negative infinity to negative 9 union negative 9 to infinity. That's going to be our interval. Now, if I don't have a graphing calculator, well, then we're going to need to factor this. And you'll kind of see that, yeah, it's going to factor to negative, or well, 81 is 9 times 9, right? And we're going to add those together, and we've got a plus in the middle here. So that means both of these have to be positive 9. Factors into x plus 9 times x plus 9. And so that's why we only get one answer, either x plus 9 equals 0 or x plus 9 equals 0. We're going to get the same answer. Subtract 9 from both sides. Subtract 9 equals negative 9. Same answer is up here. So we could do it with factoring, or we could do it with the graph. Either way, we end up with negative infinity to negative 9. Watch those signs. We're going to union that with negative 9, positive infinity. And with interval notation, you always have to list smallest to largest. That's why it's so helpful to use this tool of the number line. It gets your answers in order. You can skip the step, but oftentimes when you do, you'll get, I've seen people put negative infinity over on the other sides, and it's not in order. It's not in order from smallest to largest because you haven't organized it. We're going to do the same thing for the G. So let me clear this part off. We'll just kind of start over for the G part. So it's really 2 questions. Let's snuck it in there. This could become 0, right? When is x squared minus x minus 20 equal to 0? Now, maybe on this one, we'll do this factoring one. Maybe you see, oh, it's easier to factor. 20 is 4 times 5. Since it's a negative, if you subtract 4 from 5, we get 1. And we'll do it both ways, but we'll see. So I think it's going to be x and x, 4 and 5, because 4 times 5 is 20. Now, one of them has to be negative, and since the middle term is negative, the larger one has to be negative, and this 4 would be positive. And you could check it, x times x squared minus x minus 5x plus 4x. That gives us a negative in the middle. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. So then x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 5 equals 0. And we solve these for x, so we're subtracting 4. You notice you always get the opposite answer from the factor. And this we add 5 to both sides. You get x equals positive 5. Again, we use the number line. Negative infinity. Sorry, it looks like an 8, right? To infinity. Go like that. We've got negative 4, negative 5. Which one comes first? Well, negative 4 is here. 5 could be there. Not a big deal, however you want to watch it. Those are the 2 numbers we have to exclude. So we include everything in between and everything before and everything after, but we're going to exclude the 4 and the 5. And we can do that with simply making this interval, certainly making this interval, and then in the middle, we're going to want a 4 to 5 interval. And then we want unions here. Excuse me. Sorry, I couldn't hold it back. Okay, so let's put that one in. Go with this. Oops, no, not there. Let's clear that out. Oh, shoot, I didn't want to clear all of them. Okay, let's just do this one step at a time. Negative infinity to negative 4. Again, oops. Sorry about that. So I come back here. Sometimes you get going too quick. This was a negative 4. Negative 4, and this is a negative 4 as well. union -4 to +5. 4 to 5 union +5 to +infinity. Okay, so get that all right. Formatting should be good. And that's our domain question. Thanks. Oh, I guess I could show you, maybe you're already done, but I'll show you graphically just to clear it up again. We could graph x squared 0 over minus x minus 20. And when we graph that, we see it crossing at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, and +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you could go through the tools to find the actual x-intercepts. The other thing you could do, if you go second table, -4 is 0, and look at here, 5 is 0. So another way to kind of see those x-intercepts or those zeros in the table. Sometimes it's easier that way as long as they're like on integer values. Had it been -4.2 or something, we might be harder to see in the table. But here we see it, here we see it, and we can also see it on the graph. All right, thank you.